Hello, hi friends, how are you all doing? I'm doing good. Today I'm coming up with a September wrap up video. So I will share with you what all I read in September and my views about the books. Before I begin, I wanted to apologize for not coming up with a video yesterday. I was actually busy with some work, so I couldn't film a video yesterday. I'm sorry about that. As usual, I have my notes here. So without further ado, let's begin the video. So the first book I read in September is The Rise of Shivagami. So this book follows the life of our main protagonist, Shivagami. Shivagami is the daughter of Bhumipati Devaraya, who was wrongfully declared a traitor and was cruelly killed by the king of Mahishmati. Then everything was wrong with the rulers of Mahishmati. Shivagami grows up with the family of her father's friend Bhumipati Devaraya. Bhumipati Timma, and she grew up with utter hatred for the royal family. She just wanted to kill them. So she grew up with hatred towards towards the royal family. When Shivagami was around 17 to 18 years, Timma decided that she'll be sent to the royal orphanage. Now Shivagami was pained beyond words, but Timma kept repeating that it was her for good, and later in the story we will see how. I don't want to give out any spoilers, so I'll not explain that, but you will see if you read the book. Then the rest of the story follows Shivagami's journey and her trials and tribulations in the way of her achieving her goal of killing the royal family and taking her revenge. Coming to the characters, Shivagami is a bold girl with iron willpower. Then comes Brihanhala, Keki, Revama, and Hidumba. They were the most annoying characters, and some of the scenes with them felt too stressed and annoying just because of the kind of dialogues that they were giving out. So they were horrible. And the writer has done such a good job in painting the characters of these four people that you just hate them as soon as you read. And then comes Skandadas and Kattappa. Now, in many circumstances, they blindly followed what the king said, even though they knew that the king is wrong, but they blindly followed. They gave their everything for the royal family and the king, but the way the royal family treated them, it was horrible. At times, you would question as to why they were supporting the royal family so much. Then comes the crowned prince, the to-be crowned prince Vijala, who is a spoilt brat and a horrible person. Then there is Prince Mahadeva, who is the complete opposite, who is a very poetic and a very soft-spoken person. And one more character worth mentioning is Kamakshi. She is a darling and a very good friend of uh, Shivagami. She is with her all the times, and so is Gunduramu. Gunduramu is a very cute and chubby and very sweet child who comes to the orphanage. So these two are very good friends of Shivagami. A warning that I would like to give here is that the book showcases very graphic scenes of gruesome murder, rape, nudity, etc. So just be careful while reading the book if you get affected by these gruesome scenes. Reading the book felt like watching a movie. The writer has mentioned the scenes with such graphic details that you could actually see what's happening in the book when you read it. So it was like watching a movie, and the author has described each scene so perfectly and so much in detail. Now, the book ended in a cliffhanger, and I can't wait to read the next part. All in all, I'll give it a 4 stars out of 5. The next book I read is Lying Out Loud. So Elizabeth Ardmore is the main character in this book, and she is a habitual liar and is kind of homeless too. Then comes Amy Rush. She is a rich, sweet, and perfect girl who has Sony's back no matter what. And then comes Ryder Cross. Yeah, then comes Ryder Cross, the one person they both hate. He's the new pretentious boy in the school. So one day Sony ends up chatting with Ryder all through the night, and to her horror she realizes that she might actually like him, but Ryder was under the impression that he was chatting with Amy. So then starts a string of lies that takes the story forward. So the first time that Sunny spoke with Ryder, um, it was unintentional, but all other times that she spoke, to Ryder, it was intentional, and all she had to do was tell him the truth. But she doesn't. She keeps on going with her lie that she's Amy, and she speaks to Ryder as Amy. So this creates a lot of confusion between Amy and Ryder as well. Sony comes out as a selfish character for whom everything revolves around her and she doesn't care about anyone. And then she uses everyone for her good by lying to them intentionally. That is one thing that came out of the story. The lying gets too unbearable and annoying at times, which made me skip few pages. At times I felt like yelling at the characters, just tell that truth, Sonny, just tell him, Amy. So it was that infuriating, it was that irritating at times. And then there was one part in the story which had me in tears. The scene where Amy's parents take Sunny to her house to meet her mom, and then they realize that Sony's mom has ran away and actually vanished, leaving her alone to feed for herself. So the outburst that Sunny has, and the way Mr. Rush comforts her, gives her a tight hug, and she cries on his shoulder. That scene is very emotional, and it had me in tears. So that was one good part of the story. And by the end, when Sony starts to tell the truth, it's so relieving. The only issue I had was I felt the ending was a little incomplete. Maybe if the conversation between Amy and Ryder, if it had something more, maybe it would have felt complete. I'm not sure, but it just felt a little incomplete. All in all, it was a good read. I would give it a 3.5 stars out of 5. So the next book I read is The Memory Keeper's Daughter. This book tells the story of Dr. David Henry, who gives away his newborn daughter who has Down syndrome to one of the nurses, and tells his wife that their daughter died. So this book speaks of the story of the grief that surrounds the family and the little girl and her life going forward. Not just her life, all the family members' life going forward. So when it comes to the writing, it is beautiful, except that at times the descriptions of scenes and characters are a little too much in detail, which gets annoying at times. Apart from that, the writing is beautiful. It's kind of the description at times kind of felt unnecessary. So coming to speaking of characters, Nora was clearly under depression, but Henry didn't seem to care about it at all. He was not considerate at all, even though he was a doctor, and he seemed to be more concerned about his guilt of giving away his daughter. Instead of taking care of Nora, he was more concerned about his guilt. Though it was a huge guilt on his shoulders, I understand it was a huge guilt, but he should have taken care a little more of Nora. Given the fact that he's a doctor, he understands mental health issues. But it kind of makes sense because the story is set in 1964, and at that time mental health was not given much importance, so it does make sense. Poor Nora was clearly in depression, but even her sister Bree, who usually has her back always, blames her for some of her actions and decisions that were clearly the outcome of her depression. So those scenes were a little difficult to read. Those were a little painful to read when you know that Nora is going through depression and everybody's blaming her. It was like Nora was supposed to be content with her life, but that was not the case. Depression is a real issue. So that was one thing. The other thing that felt a little strange was how, okay, spoiler alert, if you don't want the book to get spoiled for you, please skip this part. So the one other thing that I felt was strange is the way the news of David's death was conveyed to us in just one sentence, out of the blue, suddenly. I'm like, oh, okay, dead. Yeah, so that was my reaction. So that was one thing that I felt was a little strange. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to speak about was about the way David behaved. He was under the impression that he could take decisions on behalf of Nora. Our newborn daughter has Down syndrome. Let me give it. So her life expectancy will be less. So let me give her off. So because that will cause issues to Nora. Nora is under depression and she is behaving strangely, so let me scold her. That will be best for her. It was like David just speak to Nora. Maybe she has her own opinions. That's what I wanted to tell David. So it was that annoying at times the way David behaved, and uh, all in all, it was a very touching story. It was very awesome to. Uh, Not awesome, I don't know how to explain it. It was very wonderful to see how Phoebe, the newborn daughter of David and Nora, grows up to be a wonderful woman. The way all the expectations that David had for Phoebe are proved wrong, and how she comes up in her life. It was so good to see all that. But the only issue had was it was a slow read. So that only for that reason I'll give this book a 3.5 out of 4. Now the next book that I have is The Dragonfly Pool. Now this will be an overflow to October because I couldn't complete the book. I'm around 178 pages in, and this book is about Tally Hamilton, who is sent to a boarding school because of a war that's happening, and it's a very progressive kind of a school where children are not supposed to follow rules or do things as per the teacher's wishes, but they could do whatever they want. So it was a progressive kind of school, and they go to a country called Virginia for a music festival, and there Tally meets the prince, who is under his own issues in the kingdom because he has his own set of rules to follow and he doesn't want to follow the rules and all that. So he's under those issues, and then spoiler alert, and then the king gets killed, and it comes upon Tally and her teacher Mateo to save the prince from the forces there, uh, from the enemies. So it comes upon Tally and her teacher Mateo to save the prince from the enemies, and I am at a point where they are trying to smuggle the prince from Virginia to their own school called Elderton Hall. So I'm in uh, that scene in the book. I am very eagerly waiting to read more. So next month I'll give you a complete review of this book. So I'll soon come up with my October TBR and maybe a reading journal as well. So I'll see you next week, next Saturday. Till then, bye.